What's good, people? What's good? Ya Clout Podcast in the building. Your boy Mike Sears, as always, with my brother from Northern Ireland, Ross Hartley. How you doing, sir?
Doing good.
And a friend of mine from the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast Facebook page for years now. What, 5, 6 years?
Yeah,
My boy Joesph Staub. How you doing, sir?
doing good, doing good.
Yeah, man. This episode been in the works for a while. Like me
Oh
and
yeah.
me and Ross had conversations about this on PlayStation parties that could have been a fucking podcast. Right?
It's true. It's true.
Faith No More, Angel Dust, and this.
Yep.
I don't know
Both
how much.
1992. Yep.
Yeah, both 92. And our Pantera conversations could have been podcasts within their own. So,
Okay.
yeah, today, sir, we're doing Alice in Chains Dirt 1992, man. Sophomore album. Like every episode we do, when we first discussed an artist we never discussed before, I'll let you guys go first. How did y'all discover Alice in Chains?
Well, for me, I was about 14, 15. So I was in the 2000s, and it was one of those ones where, for those who don't know, in like 2007, 2008, I kind of got tired of hip hop at the time, and I started delving more into different kind of rock, all kinds of stuff. I listened to everything, just all different types of rock, and I really latched on to like a lot of the more kind of alternative stuff. And of course, one of the big bands is Alice in Chains, and Dirt was the first album I heard, and it blew me away. So it's as simple as that, really. I downloaded it, and shortly after that, I downloaded the rest of their albums, and I fell in love. So yeah, and became a big fan ever since. So yeah, that was just back in the day, discovering lots of new music, and yeah, being an excited teenager.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and I had known a lot of their singles from the radio when I was younger and stuff, and then I think the first time I remember hearing Alice in Chains, I'm a big wrestling fan like Mike is, and I remember watching some old ECW clips and hearing Tommy Dreamer come out to Man in the Box. I'm like, oh, what's this song? So I
Oh,
looked it up, and I found out Alice in Chains. I started listening to some of their albums, and I really, really got into them probably about 5 or 6 years ago. Right around the same time, I was getting into a lot of heavier stuff. From a younger age, I was really into stuff like Kiss, as you can see from my profile pic, and um, a lot of those like lighter bands, not exactly like the heavier stuff, but at the same time, I was sort of getting into heavy metal. I was really getting into a lot of the what a lot of people would call grunge bands. I really don't consider Alice in Chains a grunge band, but
Me neither.
I really started getting into them. I listened to Facelift first because it had Man in the Box on it, and then I listened to Dirt. I'm like, whoa, what's this album? And I really got into this album. And the more I listened to it, the more I just started to really, really like it. And it's by far, spoiler alert, it's by far my favorite Alice in Chains album. And I've loved it to this day.
Fuck yeah. Both amazing stories, y'all. Especially like seeing Tommy Dreamer come out to that shit, because I remember that.
Yeah.
ECW Arena,
Mhm.
96, 97, that's when I seen it. And come out to that. For me, it was 92, and I was only 8 years old. I didn't even start collecting physical media yet until 95.
yeah.
I seen a Man on the Box video, black and white, and my uncle would record, like he recorded Yo MTV Raps, right?
Mhm.
And Headbangers Ball, Ricky Ratman and shit. He recorded both of those shows back to back all the time. And just that opening guitar riff, that as an 8-year-old, like, oh, that's fucking cool, I just loved it. But it wouldn't be to 1995 when I asked my uncle about him, and he told me about him. He showed me the tapes, and my uncle was kind of strict on letting me use his shit, and rightfully so. So when I got my allowance, I was already deep into hip hop. You know what I mean? Both of those, my two favorite genres ever, predominantly hip hop, metal. Well, throw rock in there too. Hip hop and metal and rock. Fucking, I bought Dirt on cassette and Facelift, and it was on from that point on. got Tripod. I think Tripod came out when I was already a fan of them, so I got that
Yeah,
little
that
while.
came out in '95.
Yep, 95. The fucking dope ass green like CD case and shit.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I bought the cassettes, the Dirt and Facelift, and never looked back. After that, you know.
Yep.
But here we go. Alice in Chains Dirt, 1992. They wrote this record on the fucking Clash of the Titans tour. You know, Megadeth and shit. That's how they wrote the main portion of the album. Figured I'll say that.
Yeah.
And after Facelift, oh, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
That was about that tour. I remember when I just listened to the Rock Metal Combat podcast review of this album, and I know Ralph talked about seeing them on that tour, and apparently they did not go over well at all. I mean, I know Ralph said he thought they were great, but apparently they did not go over well on the Thrash of Titans tour.
Oh yeah, there's footage of them getting fucking cushioned from the chairs thrown at them and shit.
It's insane.
You know what I mean? Which
crazy.
is silly as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and that was right before grunge would have really broken with Nevermind. I mean, that probably the Thrash of the Titans tour was right around that same time. I mean, people one of the quotes Ralph said was like, the same people that were throwing cushions at Alice in Chains 2 months later will be saying that Nirvana was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, spoiler alert, by far, they're my favorite band out the Seattle scene. There's no question about that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I
This
love
is
them
the
all.
greatest album to come out of that scene.
Oh, I said that in my notes. Yep. Fuck yeah. Easily is. So let's get to this album, man. Dirt.
Mm-hmm.
You get them bones, man. Them bones straight out the fucking gate. A banger. This is how you start an album off. Jerry Cantrell said he was thinking about his own mortality when he wrote this. That one of these days he'll end up just a pile of bones and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Although that fucking the video too is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
The video. I remember seeing it as a little kid. And I think it was in like a Road Rash game too on PlayStation, if I remember correctly. The first PlayStation.
Possibly. I know Soundgarden were in that game.
Yeah, I think Rusty Cage was in there. I think it was. Yeah. But it's a thought for every human being, whether you believe in the afterlife or not. Just a heavy song about death. The riffs are great on here, and Staley's vocals are incredible, man. You know, just as soon as you pop that motherfucker in, oh man, them bones. I feel so alone. Gonna end up a big old pile of them bones. Amazing lyrics from Cantrell and Lane. Just amazing way to start off an album. That straight punch you in your face shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And them bones, man. Y'all can go.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you said. Very like punchy and immediate way to start off the album. Yeah, can't go far wrong with them bones. Probably one of their most popular songs ever. It's either between this and Man in the Box is probably like their biggest hit. I believe. Oh, phone call. I believe. It's all good. I believe. This was the first Alice in Chains song I heard because it was on GTA San Andreas. So there you go. That was another game it was on. But yeah, just a great song. Pretty short. It's only like 2.5 minutes long, but it's like they waste no time. They, gets in, gets out. Very, just a very catchy song. Love that riff at the start, and yeah, very just a really good way to start off the album. A lot of this album is quite slow and sluggish in terms of sound, but it was smart of them to kick off with like a real kind of rock banger. So yeah, Them Bones, a great track, great single, great way to start off the album.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, this is one of those songs where it just comes in out of nowhere. You're like, whoa, what the fuck? And it just starts and it just goes, and it's exactly what Ross said. It's just a lot of this album is a lot slower paced, and for them to start off with a song like Them Bones and it just goes, and it's like what he said, 2 minutes, gets in, gets out, short, sweet, to the point, doesn't waste any time. Just a great song. It's probably my 4th favorite song off this album. I'll get to some of my favorites later, but it's definitely in my top 5 off this album.
Hell yeah. And it doesn't get old. I've heard it so many times, but it doesn't get old. Yeah.
No, it don't get old at all. I never get sick of it. None of the singles I'm sick of on here. It's
no.
Oh,
Yeah, and there are a lot of those bands out of the Seattle scene where some of those singles get pretty old, and
Oh
Alice in
yeah.
Chains aren't one of them. I mean, all their singles I still love.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Yeah, great breakdown, gentlemen. Then we get Damn That River, man. Oof. The song is to be said about when Jerry Cantrell and Sean Keeney got into an altercation, and Sean ended up breaking a coffee table over his head. That's what I read up on. I don't know how true that
Yeah.
is. And the harmonizer between Cantrell and Staley on here is amazing. Love Lane's vocals on here too. It just fucking that fucking riff that starts it off.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking good. Lane's voice, man. Like they don't make music like this no more. You know what I mean?
No, they don't.
Fantastic way to like go on with the album. Second track, Damn That River. Nothing left to be said for me. Just a perfect fucking song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love this song too. I think they could have made this a single too, but there was already 5 singles. But I definitely could have seen it as one as well. Like another fast paced, really crunchy riff on here. Yeah, love it. Just a really great song. And it's sort of like a direct, it's like a natural continuation from the first track. Yeah, love Down That River. One of my favorite songs on the album.
I definitely I agree. That's the one thing I really noticed about this album is the songs just flow together so well. It feels like the one song just kind of like goes right into the next and the next, and it's even though there is kind of a dip with the way that the album feels, like it starts out pretty heavy, fast paced, and then song by song it sort of gets slower and drudgier, and then by the end it picks back up again.
Yeah, it
And
does.
I really like the way that is. They started out heavy and sort of fast paced for them, and they end it that same way. And then in the middle, it's a lot of the slower songs, and so you really get a nice feeling of movement. And I think this song is really fits into that perfectly. It is like that natural continuation from them bones. Uh, it's the lyrics are great, just the melodies great, like what you guys were saying, the harmonies between Cantrell and Staley were throughout the entire album are amazing. I think it's a great song.
Fuck yeah. Love that shit. Next we get Rain When I Die. Oof. The opening bass line for Mike Starr is incredible. And throughout the song too, that bass line, man, it's amazing. The riffing from Jerry is superb too. The song is just thoughts of Lane like to a flower, like needing water type of meaning, he said. Like he will die soon. The instrumentation on here is like next level shit too, man. I love Rain When I Die. That's how it's done, Paul Stanley.
I think it's gonna rain. Oh,
I was gonna bring that one up. Oh God, that boy, I think I heard that somewhere before.
Yeah.
I had to stick it in there. I had to.
I knew we were.
It's so obvious. I mean, how do you write a song literally called Rain that literally borrows almost the same melody in the chorus with the same lyrics, just cutting out the "When I Die" part, and then say, "Oh, it's a Kiss song now."
Oh man.
I know me and Mike make fun of that all the time.
Yeah.
You could tell Paul was running out of steam in the late '90s. Holy shit! Oh my God. I mean, writing a grunge album to begin with at all, just
by Kiss is just weird. Just very
it is the world's greatest grunge band. Everyone knows that.
That's hilarious.
But
anything they try to be, they're the best at.
Oh, of course. Kiss Psycho Circus is the best first-person shooter ever made.
Oh yeah, great game. Oh yeah, when they were sucking dick in the late '80s, they were the best at that. You know,
God.
They're all.
Rain When I Die, I absolutely love. One of my favorite songs on the album. Just this is when the album really starts to get into its dark and kind of harrowing kind of thing. But the thing that I love about Alice in Chains, like they make dark music, but the way that it's done with, you know, the instrumentation and Lane Staley's vocals and like the harmonization between him and Cantrell, it's dark, but at the same time, like there's beauty in this music. You know what I mean? And when he belts out, you know, I think it's gonna rain. Oh, when I die, like you feel it. You're like shit. You know, you really believe everything that Lane says, and yeah, you want to scream that with him. Like every time that chorus runs on, you want to join in. You know what I mean? Absolutely love this song. Very, just very powerful. Yeah, absolutely love it. I think it's a brilliant track. One of my favorites.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it starts out with one of the most amazing guitar solos I've ever heard Jerry Cantrell do, and that's saying something because I mean, he's an amazing guitar player. But
Yeah,
the solo of this song is great, and then it goes right into one of the best riffs on the album. That opening riff after the solo is just great, and just exactly what you were saying. When Lane Staley just starts screaming that chorus, you just feel it, and you want to sing along, and so badly that even Paul Stanley wanted to sing along. And he did. Anyway, we've talked about that. So, but my, it's an amazing song. I mean, you can't go wrong with anything on this album, but this song is just so good.
Fuck yeah, I agree with both of y'all. I love it, man. Next, we get Down in a Hole, one of Alice in Chains' greatest songs. The harmonizing from Staley and Cantrell again is amazing. I like to fly, but my wings have been so denied. That's beautiful fucking songwriting right there. That's like you've done so many sins. Your path to heaven has been revoked or some shit, you know? Yeah. Like some of the best lyrics displayed on this AIC song I ever heard, in my opinion. Sand rains down and here I sit. So perfect. This track is absolutely stellar. One of my favorite tracks on the album. I can't get enough of this track. It's so fucking good. Now, 2009, one of the worst years of my life. Ross knows this story.
Yeah.
My ex at the time said she had a miscarriage, but she aborted my kid. Fucking cheated on me, a bunch of fucked up shit. I was down in the fucking dumps. I drank a lot, smoked a lot, just my life was fucked. This was one of the albums, along with Nada's Do You Believe in God, that got me through. I listened to this shit every day. And I was just like, fuck that bitch. You know what I mean? Yep, and this was a song, really, that pain. This is that real pain. You know what I mean? That real pain. This ain't some fucking My Chemical Romance shit, dog. This is that real shit. Pain, you know? And Down in the Hole, like, we'll do our top 3 at the end of the review, but that Down in the Hole is definitely in there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I didn't mean to go in a spiel about personal shit, but, you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve on this podcast. I don't care. Oh, yeah. You know, amazing shit. Down in the Hole is great. And
I agree.
Joe taught me something today, man. He told me that, I'll let him explain it, but he just basically said on earlier pressings, this was the 12th track. I never knew that.
Yeah, so I was actually going to say the version I have has it at number 12. Yep, I have that version.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it actually is, even for me, because the version that I had downloaded back in the day when I first got into Alice in Chains, you know, had it at track 4. I was used to having it at track 4, but yeah, now it's at the back. So it's kind of, yeah, it is a bit weird, but I mean, it still works, you know, towards the end, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It is a bit strange after listening to it for so long, being used to it in a certain order, you know. But yeah.
What is track 4 for you on your release?
Sick Man.
Shit.
Yeah. So, but I love Down in the Hole. I absolutely agree with everything you said. This was a single as well, and it probably is my favorite song on the album. Like, just the way, like, the beautiful harmonization between Lane and Staley and Cantrell during the verses, and then it builds up into that chorus where Staley is belting it out. I believe the song was written by Cantrell about like an ex girlfriend, like a relationship or something like that. But you can very easily draw, even though the song isn't about Lane and his problems, you can easily draw parallels between the two, you know what I mean? With what he's talking about, being down in a hole, feeling so small. Like when he says that, like towards the end of the song, like you feel it, and you honestly, like, it's that it's real pain, like you said, like that you can feel the emotion, and yeah, just an absolutely amazing song. One of those no one else could make this song. It was just these four guys knocked it out of the park, and it's amazing. And I love the unplugged version as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
just absolutely love this song. Amazing.
What
Yeah,
probably gets me?
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh yeah, I'll be quick, brother. I was gonna say what probably gets me is that I'd like to fly, but my wings have been so they're not. That's it gets me.
And again, you can put that that matches quite well with what Staley's was going through. You know what I mean? Like he's a rock star. He's the front man of this band who's doing amazingly well, selling really well, blah blah blah. But this heroin addiction's holding him down. You know what I mean? That's gonna hold him down in the long run, and it did. So yeah, it's pretty amazing that the song is complete. It's written about something completely else. Completely different, but it's easy to sort of bring in some of the real life other stuff that was going on with Staley and the band, into it. So yeah, absolutely love Down in the Hole. Beautiful song.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. And what we're also saying, it's about Jerry Cantrell's girlfriend at the time, and Rain When I Die was about both Jerry and Lane's girlfriends, and this one's mainly about Jerry's. Jerry wrote this by himself, but exactly what you're saying, it could be so just about what Lane was going through with his drug addiction. I mean, like what we'd see with later with Junkhead. It could just be transplanted onto what Lane was going through. And it's just an amazing song. And like what Mike was talking about, I was talking about with him earlier about how some pressings have it earlier, some have it later. My cassette copy has it at track 12, but my CD copy, which is a newer pressing, has it at track 4. And like what Ross says, yeah, it just moves everything up one, and it just moves down in the hole to Before Wood. But I think actually I listened to both track listings, track orders, and I think it actually fits in both places.
Yeah,
I mean, it fits well after Rain When I Die, because like what I said earlier is that progression, but it also fits well Before Wood. And I just think it's an amazing song. It's one of my favorites on the album. It's just great.
Fuck yeah. I could picture it coming right before Wood as well, because those are two of my favorite songs. So that's like a 1-2 fucking punch.
it is.
Shit. Great breakdown, gentlemen, too. I enjoy listening to y'all talk about that. Now we getting a Sick Man. Oof. So dark and grim. Love it. You just feel Lane's pain and depression from drug abuse on here, man. The laughing on the track during the midpoint is creepy as fuck. Jerry's solo is superb as well. Sick Man is just fucking it, man. Love that track. You just like, fuck it, give me the heroin needle, man. Fuck it. Let me just shoot this shit up. You just feel that, you know?
Yeah.
Love Sick Man.
Yeah, another really good song. I love the instrumentation in this song. I love the way it goes from being, you have these sections where it's quite up tempo and kind of heavy. What the hell am I? Those sections, and then it goes into that slow, trudging, style. You know what I mean? They effortlessly go between the two really, really well. And it just sounds a really horrific sounding song. You know what I mean? I think Staley asked Cantrell to write the heaviest shit that he could or something like that. Yeah, I love it. Really, really good, awesome song.
Yeah, I completely agree. Apparently the quote was, Lane Staley told Cantrell to write the sickest, darkest, most fucked up, heaviest thing he could.
Yeah.
And this is it. This is by far the heaviest song on the album so far. It's probably one of, if not the heaviest songs on the album.
Yep.
And it's just, it just pummels you. You feel fucked up after you listen to this song. Like, it makes you feel something. And that's, like all good music, it makes you feel something. And this song makes you feel fucked up after you listen to it. I mean, it's just great. I love it. And like what Mike said about the laughing in the middle, it's messed up.
Yeah, it feels like a journey when you listen to this song because it goes through so many different phases. Absolutely.
I never did any hard drugs, but you don't need to listen to this shit. You know what I mean?
This shit makes you feel like you're doing hard drugs.
Yeah, just give me that fucking needle. I'm popping it in, you know? Not trying to make light of heroin use, but I'm just saying it makes you feel like you fucking high on that shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Lovesick Man, though. Great track. Now we get to a track everybody knows, even if you're not an AIC fan. Brewster. Man, Mike Starr's bass line is great. One of the greatest songs ever written in rock history, in my opinion. Lane and Jerry's harmonizing on here is incredible. Jerry wrote the song about his father when he served in the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War. I never get tired of this song. It's so fucking classic. I used to hear it on classic rock radio all the time when I used to listen to radio. I hadn't listened to radio in, 2007 probably last time, but amazing. Brewster is just fantastic. Dope video too, like the video.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love this song. One of my favorites. Even though it's a big single or whatever, it's one of those ones. Again, doesn't get old whatsoever. I love that intro with the ooh, just amazing. So such a captivating way to start off the song, and then really love the lyrics in the song by Cantrell. Kind of really brings you into the atmosphere. You kind of feel that kind of like exhausted, like I'm still here, but like fuck, it's really this is really hard going. You know what I mean? And I just love the way the song builds up to a big crescendo, and love this song. Absolutely love it. I think it's amazing.
Fuck Rooster.
This is probably tied with another song coming up for my favorite song on the album. I mean, this is one of the ones that caught me right away when the first time I ever listened to this album. It is just like what you were saying about the intro and they're harmonizing and stuff. And then when it just gets to the chorus and then the drums come in and just picks up a little bit, and you can feel what this was Jerry trying to reconnect with his father, trying to understand what he went through. And it's just such an amazing song. And I probably went for about like a year without listening to this album. And then a couple months ago, I heard this song on the radio, and I'm just like, I forgot how much I loved this song and how much I loved this album. And it really made me go back and listen to it again and just remember how awesome this album is. And I just love this song. It's tied for my favorite on the album. I love it.
Fuck yeah. That's how I felt, Joe, when I listened to this album a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
It's brought me right back to when I was that 10-year-old kid listening to this shit, 11 years old, 12 years old, when it was in my life the most. Teenage years, too. It's a timeless album.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Then we get the Junkhead. Absolutely one of my favorite songs on the whole album, man. That riffing is hard as fuck. That chorus, that what's my drug of choice? But what I got, and I do it a lot. Oh, my God, I love that shit. Me and Ralph were felt together on the Savage Review. We were singing that shit. But, man, this amazing song, man. I love it so much. Just about being a junkie, strung out on heroin and shit, Again, you can feel the pain, Only drugs I ever done in my life is weed. That's it. No mushrooms, no psychedelics. It's marijuana. I'm a pothead right now. I love it. Without it, I'll be fucked up, But fucking that shit makes you feel like you want to cop from the heroin dealer and shit. Just makes you feel like a fucking junkie. Like it's that real pain, Yeah. I can't say enough about it. I said it on Slipknot Iowa review. That real pain when bands were fucked up in real life and they put in the paper and brought that shit to the studio. That's real shit.
Yeah, and probably 3 of the greatest albums of all time, and they're just right, like you said, that you feel the pain. Is this album, the first Korn album, and then Iowa are just so albums where you just feel that pain.
Fuck yeah, dude. That real pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Junkhead, classic.
I absolutely love Junkhead. It's one of the heaviest songs on the album for sure. And yeah, I just love the song. Definitely agree completely with what you said. Also, like I think a decent, aspect to the song as well is the fact that, like people don't understand, they don't understand what I'm going through. You know what I mean? That's like a big part of the song too. It's like people just think I'm a junkie. Like they don't understand, the things that I'm going through, and they don't understand what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? That's definitely a big part of the song too. Yeah, love it. Very, very powerful stuff. And yeah, for me, it's like I just listen to it and it's like, wow, I would never do that. Like this is like, those like horrible like anti-drug commercials that they used to run back in the day. Like this is way better. You know what I mean? Just listen to this. Like this does a better job of putting you off. You know what I mean? This is real story that makes you think, damn, that's it's really horrible, but it's brilliant music. But yeah, I love Junkhead. It's another awesome song. I don't think I've said anything bad about this album yet, but it is dirt. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I love this song too. It's probably my third favorite on this album, behind Rooster and the one that's tied with it that's coming up. But one of the things when I was listening to the Rock and Roll Combat podcast that Ralph said that really, really stuck with me about this song was like a lot of the other grunge bands at the time were always like, oh, woe is me, self-pity kind of songs. And this is not that. This is Lane Staley saying, hey, I did this to myself.
Yeah.
And he's not like, oh, self-pity, pity me and all that. He's like, no, fuck that. I did this to myself. I got to live with that. And I think that's why this song is just so powerful, because it's like, when it's talking about something, if fucking Lemmy tells you not to do something, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Lemmy even said, never do heroin. When Lemmy tells you not to do something, it's a pretty good idea you shouldn't do it. But like, it just shows how fucked up you can get on heroin. But sometimes you have to accept what you did and how you did this to yourself. And I think that's what this song is, and it's like him coming to terms with that. And I think it's amazing. I think it's an amazing song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yeah. What a song, man. Yeah, Lemmy done everything, A to Z, so if he tells you not to do it, Joe's right. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Now we get to Dirt, the title track, Dirt. This shit is beyond badass. One of my favorite riffs of all time. Lane's vocals is just fucking incredible on here. Some of the best he ever did. Jerry Cantrell, that motherfucker, he is the Tony Iommi of grunge. Of the Seattle scene. Jerry's riffs are just amazing. It just gets me every time, man. The title track, Dirt. Again, I feel the pain. I feel the depression. The real pain, fucking torment. Not that pussy emo shit from the mid-2000s. This shit is real. You can just feel the heroin needle in this shit. You have the talent to make me feel like dirt. The lyrics on here, too, are amazing. One of my favorites on here as well. This is going to make the top 3. It might just make the top. Dirt, the title track, incredible. That no. That's every fucking time, yo. Every time it gets me. Love it.
Yeah, incredible instrumentation on this song. Absolutely. Matches the album cover perfectly as well. Like that's a perfect visual.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. Just love another fantastic song. What can I say? Another, that riff it's like it does a great job of sounding like pretty badass, but at the same time it's dark, it's moody. You know what I mean? It's matches the lyrical content so well, which is it's depressing. It's talking about drugs again. It's really negative song, but yeah, love it. It's really well done, and yeah, fantastic. What can I say? Awesome, another awesome song.
Yeah, I just completely agree. I think it's great. And I think what I love, especially is Mike, when you said that Jerry Cantrell is the Tony Iommi of grunge, and it's like, I completely agree. This song is even, like, the riff on this song even makes me think, if the first Black Sabbath album came out in the 90s, this is what it would sound like.
That's great.
The riff sounds like Black Sabbath, like, and it's so good. The riff is amazing, and I think it's just an amazing song. It's probably in my top 5 from this album. It's just amazing. I love it. I can't even really put into words. It's just like you guys said everything. It's just such a good song.
Fuck yeah. I agree with both of y'all, man. Definitely.
Hell yeah.
Next, we get Godsmack. Man, Godsmack is a term for overdose.
Mm-hmm.
What's in God's name have you done? You know, stick your arm out for some real fun. Those are insane lyrics.
Yeah, that's twisted, isn't it? Yeah.
Another drug-riddled track, man, that I can't get enough of. Jerry's riffs and solo on here is fantastic. When I was a little kid, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, yo, that vocal's bothering me. You know what I'm talking about. But now, I love it, you know.
I mean, for me, it's probably my least favorite song on the album, probably. But I don't think it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. Like, there's no like duds on this album. There's no skippable tracks or whatever. But for me, it is probably my least favorite. But that doesn't mean it's bad. I still think the crunchy, kind of catchy guitar riff I quite like. And yeah, it's a pretty solid song. I like the lyrics are twisted and evil for sure. But yeah, it's just not one of my favorites. But you gotta have a least favorite, I guess, and that's it for me. But yeah, that's Godsmack. Also, I hate the band Godsmack. God, they suck.
I'm not gonna lie, Ross. When I was a kid, I loved them, but now I can't get them to them now. Who else is like that for me? Cold Chamber too. I can't get into Cold Chamber anymore either.
I don't think the band Godsmack's terrible, but a lot of their stuff is just like, ooh, that's bad. Ooh.
There's something really, like, I don't know, manufactured about them. I don't like them though. I don't know.
One of my best friends, Adam, he lives in Florida now. He fucking was like, yo, they sound like Alice in Chains trying to rip them up. He hated them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I actually just saw them live last year, and they weren't too bad live. I mean, the drum solo was amazing. The singer came out and they did like a drum battle between the drummer and the singer, and they had 2 drum sets out, and they were just having an awesome drum battle. It was the best part of the show, but I mean, they were okay. They weren't like the best band I've ever seen, but they weren't terrible.
And they're right from my neck of the woods too. They're right in my area.
Massachusetts, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the song Godsmack, I mean, Ross Stole My Thunder. I mean, it's probably my least favorite song on the album too. I mean, I still like it. It's a good song, but it feels like if there's one too many, and this is it. And I mean, I think if this was on any other album by any other band, I think it would be a standout. But on this album, it kind of falls a little flat. But I think it's a good song. But I mean, in a couple minutes, I'll tell you what I think about would make this album better. But I'll get there when I get there. So I think it's an okay song, but it's probably my least favorite.
Before we move on to the little skit on here, do you like the riffing though? That ding 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 ding. I love that.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Fuck yeah. This is so short, but I think it's fucking dope as shit. Iron Gland. Badass little interlude. Tom Araya from Slayer.
Yep.
Does a little inside. Oh, Iron Gland. That shit is cool as fuck. I love it. It's nothing to really talk about, but I like it.
For me, it doesn't really add much to the album. Like if it wasn't on there, it wouldn't really bother me. But I don't know. I can take it or leave it. That's my opinion on Iron Gland.
I guess I'm a big Slayer mark. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah.
Well, also, it's like Iron Man as well. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. So. Yep.
I mean, I love Slayer, but I'm not a huge fan of this little interlude here. I think it's funny. It's funny for what it is, but I mean, it's a very take it or leave it kind of thing, like what Ross said. I mean, it doesn't add anything. It's 30 some seconds. It's kind of pointless. I mean, I guess they just did it to break up the sort of monotony of what the album was, but I don't think it was really necessary. But oh well.
I guess I'm the only one that was excited about that.
Oh well.
Then we get to a fucking banger. Hate to Feel. Man, incredible track. Lane plays guitar in here as well.
Yeah, he wrote the song completely. Yeah.
I love that. What the fuck will it take? Drown myself in my way. Oh, I fucking love that shit. Lane's father died of a heroin overdose too, and it's written about him not wanting to be like his dad. And unfortunately, in 2002, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, that killed me, man. I was a fucking sophomore in high school. That killed me. Oh, that killed me. Mike Starr's bass playing too on here is incredible as well. An amazing song. Hate to Feel is so fucking good. Heavy as fuck too. Love it, man.
Yeah, another really good song. I agree with what Mike said. It really allows Lane to kind of show off his songwriting chops. This song, Angry Chair, he also wrote as well. And it shows that he definitely has talent. Everyone thinks of obviously Jerry Cantrell. He's like the mastermind of the band and stuff, and he is. But it goes to show that Lane can certainly hold his own when it comes to songwriting. And I think he did a great job here. And I love the way he delivers the lyrics and everything like that. And just another great song on the album. Hate to Feel, another awesome one.
Well, here is my controversial opinion of the day.
Oh, dear.
Not great. It's better than Godsmack to me, but still not great. And I mean, I've seen a lot of people talk about how good the song is. I'm just kind of like, eh. I never really got into this song as much. I mean, this is where I'm going to talk about what I would do to make this album perfect. Cut the last 3 songs. Not the last 3 on the album, but the 3 that we just talked about. I think this will be a perfect 10-song album. One of those things. The perfect amount of songs on an album is 10. And I think this will be an amazing, perfect 10-song album. You cut Godsmack, you cut Ironclad, you cut this. Perfect album.
Oh,
These
man.
take it down a little bit for me. And I mean, I know that's a very controversial opinion, but
yeah. I
can't get it.
I can see your point, absolutely. I mean, Hate to Feel, I like the song a lot. I think it's great, but it's not one of my favorites. You know what I mean? It's not in my top 3. It's probably not even in my top 5. You know what I mean?
Oh man,
really? But I still think it's a good song. That's how good this album is. You know what I mean? I pretty much love all of it. But
maybe because I'm a twist sick fuck that been in depression. That I love that so much. Probably, you know what I mean? Because at that time, I was just down, and that got me. Maybe that's it. But I do respect Joe's opinion too. Especially if Iron Gland was just like a little skit at the end of the track it came, before, instead of being its own track, maybe I don't know, but yeah. I love Hate to Feel. Now y'all better like this one. Angry Chair. Man, that drum intro from Sean Keeney is great. This song is fucking dark. It's about heroin addiction. No surprise there, right? Oh, that I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind. Lost my mind. Yeah, but I don't mind. I love that shit. And that dark as fuck. I used to hear this on rock radio, 94 HJY, my local rock station, in the daytime, and I was like, man, such a fucking banger. So evil sounding and shit. Amazing lyrics in here as well. Definitely a standout on the album. Like half the songs on this record, just Angry Chair is so fucking good. The video's dope too.
Yeah, I love the video. Video matches the song really well.
Yeah, I got that Music Bank DVD that came out in '99.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, no, I agree completely. I think his song is a masterpiece. Definitely. Oh man, it's definitely. I just love it. I don't know if it's one of my favorites because there's like I have like so many other favorites. You know what I mean? But yeah, like you said, I love that. Boom, boom, down, boom, boom, down, down. It's just iconic. You know what I mean? And it catches you right away, and it brings you in, and then you listen to what he's saying, and it's like. Yeah, just love the way he delivers, the verses. Sitting on an angry chair, angry walls that still the air. Just the way he says it sounds so cool, but at the same time, it's dark as hell. And yeah, I love that chorus bit that you did earlier as well. I just, yeah, amazing song. Absolutely love it. And yeah, just a fantastic song. Love it.
And they're back. Amazing song. I mean, after the past couple, I mean, I think that makes this song sound even better. But I think this is definitely in my top 5 on the album. One of the best songs I've ever heard. It's so good. I just think the song's amazing. I think what Mike said about the drum intro and the riff and the lyrics and the way Lane sings it. I mean, this is one of the only songs he ever wrote entirely by himself, along with the previous one, which I think is funny that one of my favorite songs and one of my least favorite songs were both written just by him. But this song is just so good. It's so good, and I can't even say how good the song is. It's just so good.
Yes, man. Never get sick of that shit either, you know.
No, never.
No, not a.
And they played that a lot over here. They played it a lot when it was, on and popping. But I never got sick of it. I love it, man. Now we end the album with my favorite song on the whole fucking album, Wood. Absolute classic. Jerry Cantrell and Lane's harmonizing on here is so good. Jerry singing on the verses. The Lane gets that into the flood again. Every time it hits me, man. Every fucking time. That bass line from Mike Starr is great in the beginning. The drumming from Sean Keeney is great too. Dedicated to Andrew Wood of Mother Love Bone. Late 80s band. One of the greatest songs of all time, in my opinion. I cannot get enough of Wood. The fucking video's iconic. Lane with that red striped shirt and the fucking sunglasses, the slick back hair, holding a mic stand. So fucking cool, man. Just, Wood is a classic beyond classic. Can't get enough. Cannot get enough of Wood.
Yeah, I agree with you. 100%. Absolutely brilliant song. Amazing way they end off the album. Like Joe said earlier, like, they're sort of ending off on a slightly higher note again. We've went through like all the slower, kind of sludgier songs. Now we're kind of up with a slightly more up-tempo song. Yeah, absolutely love it. Love the way the verses are done, where Jerry Cantrell kind of starts it off and then Lynn ends off the line. You know what I mean? Very dope. I love that.
Yeah.
And, yeah, just when Lane comes in into the flood again, same old trip as it was back then. Like when he says that shit again, you feel it. You're like, damn, he belts that out, and you feel every word, and it's amazing. I absolutely love the song, and what a powerful way to end the album.
Yeah, I completely agree. Tied with Rooster for my favorite song on the album by far. One of Lane's greatest vocal performances, like you guys say, when he comes in on that chorus with the Into the Flood again. I mean, holy crap. It is just one of the greatest songs of all time. I mean, the fact that they ended the album with this is just perfect. It's just such a good song. I mean, whew, it's just so rewarding when you listen to this album and you get to Wood and you end the album with this song. It's so rewarding listening to this song.
It is. It's like, man, what a way to go out.
I love the way that song ends with the "If I would could you." That's so perfect. I love that. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, there you have it, folks. Alice in Chains Dirt. Every episode when we do an album, You go by the classic Source Magazine rating of 5 mics for my hip hop heads out there. This is getting 5 mics. I don't give a fuck. I like every single song. I know you guys, some songs you don't feel, but for me, a perfect 5. I don't skip nothing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Amazing to me.
Oh yeah. There's no skipables on here for me either. It's just Godsmack's like just my least favorite song, but I love everything else on here. I think the album is absolutely brilliant. Love the instrumentation on here. I think the lyrics are very powerful and the way they're delivered, just absolutely amazing. And I think it's their best album. It's their magnum opus. I love their the other albums too. Facelift and the self-titled Three-Legged Dog album is awesome. Jar of Flies, even though it's an EP, is so good. But Dirt is my favorite. I love that more than all of them. So yeah, 5. I have to give it a 5. It's one of my favorite albums of all time by one of my favorite bands. I can't give it less than 5. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I completely agree with both of you. 5 out of 5. Even though there's a couple that I said I would take off if I had my way, I still don't skip any songs on this album. If I'm listening to this album, I'm listening to this album. I don't care. Even if there's some stuff I don't like, I'm still enjoying. I'm sitting down and I'm going to enjoy this album. 5 out of 5. Perfect, amazing album. Best album of the 90s, of the grunge era for me. Best album from Alice in Chains. I think they're up there with Pantera for my favorite band of the 90s. I just think they're amazing. I think this album's amazing.
Fuck yeah. Top 3 tracks, man. For me, I gotta go with fucking Wood, number 1. 2, Down in the Hole. And the third one is very hard, but Dirt. Title track Dirt. I would say that. Yeah. How about y'all? What y'all top 3s?
I'll go Down the Hole, number 1. Ooh. Rain When I Die, number 2, and Rooster, number 3. Something like that. But that could change, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really tough because I love all those, most of the songs. It's so good.
Yeah, mine would be my top 3 would probably be Rooster, Wood, and Junkhead would be my top 3.
Yeah, Junkhead's amazing too. I love that.
Yeah, it's great bliss. Yeah, man. There you have it, man.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it, Joe.
No problem.
Everyone here.
I'm gonna hop off here because it's food time for me.
Yeah, I gotta go to the store and shit, so I gotta go too. But Joe, you did fucking great. I want you on again, brother. Definitely.
Let me know. I'd be definitely happy to. I had a great time. It was an amazing time talking to you guys about this album, and I'd love to talk about other music.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay, y'all. I will see y'all on the flip side. Peace, people.
Peace.